Boom, dum, 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 boom, dum, dum, dum,
Check it out.
boom, dum, dum, dum,
It's the Beans.
dum, 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 dum,
We
dum,
here to party
dum, dum, dum,
and tell a movie. The Beans, it's Deric. And I'm here too. I'm Sam.
Welcome to Atlanta, where the players play and they ride on them things like every day. You know that song?
No, you want to explain that to me?
You don't know Welcome to Atlanta?
No.
By Jermaine Dupri and everybody from Ludacris and
No, I don't know that song.
all the Atlanta people?
No.
Oh, man, that's classic.
You're from an area where you would play that song, though.
But I like your version. Welcome to the Beans, where the pockets get explained and they talk about that penny.
Oh, see, you can't be near the placard. That was a problem on the last one.
That was a problem on the last one. I knock the placard over sometimes. It's hard not to, bro.
Just don't touch it.
It's so hard. What up, Bean Mafia? We back, bro. We chilling. We up in Maine in this bitch.
Up in this bitch.
Up in this motherfucking. We still in this bitch. You know that song, yeah?
In this bitch. Why do
By
I know
B.O.B.?
that? Yeah, I do know that song.
That was when he was hot. Remember?
This was
B.O.B.
before
was hot?
he went Flat Earth.
Way before.
Yeah.
I don't think Flat Earth was his thing.
Wasn't B.O.B. the beautiful girls all over the world? I've been chasing her time away. They got nothing on you, baby. Nothing on you. And he goes, yeah. You know where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
The plays in the past that I done.
I know that one. And then if airplanes in the night skies were
B.O.B.
like
too?
shooting stars.
I could really use a wish right now. Wish. Is that the Paramore girl?
I don't know who that is singing. I just know he's like, yeah, I'm B.O.B. rapping like this. I'm inspired. That's how people rapping. They're like, I'm trying to inspire you.
Well, he's trying to get the message across.
I'm trying to get my message across. So I'm rapping like this. Fuck all that nigga. I need a nigga like Future.
I want to drink out of my mic.
Pardon me, I've been still acting po. I need shit like that. You say what? You need
I went to drink out of the mic. I
went to drink out of the mic?
I switched hands with
You didn't smoke.
I know, I'm the sober one.
I like your pigtails today, so
Thank you.
Sam Jam, you look good as fuck.
Thanks.
How you feeling, bro?
Feeling myself.
Ooh, it's nice to have you
feeling
back.
myself.
So you know the Beans like you.
Thanks, Beans. I love you guys too.
Man, I like that. It's all love on the pod, bro.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
spread the love.
It's love today, bro. It's a love Thursday. It's a love Thursday. It's Saturday in our world.
Yeah.
But in what reality is real, because they're seeing this on Thursday.
Yeah, no one else will see this until Thursday. Just us and
So it's really Thursday.
it's really Thursday.
Right? Dude, reality is
Weird.
whatever the fuck you want it to be.
Time
bro.
and space are not real concepts.
Yeah, that's like the Alan Watts guy, where he's like, if all thought was just a thought, then
Then
all
what-
thoughts would be dreams.
And if your dreams were waking thoughts, then what is the difference in a thought of the dream?
For me, a dream is just a thought when a thought is just a dream. All thoughts are dreams when dreams.
Our thoughts.
that nigga
Yeah.
be deep, bro. Could you imagine having sex with that guy? I just
He would
came.
keep talking.
Or did I come? Did I come in another lifetime? Did you come? Did every single reality that could have been come when they came?
Did we all simultaneously come into the universe as come?
As come.
And then reformat so that we could come in our come?
Or am I just crazy? See, dreams I'm into, and the woman's just like, whoa. Dude. Oh my God. Go
Who
down
set
on
me up with this guy?
Yeah, what is happening?
Karen.
But yo, that's not what today's about. Today's not about conolingus. Today is about a good friend of mine who pays the bills.
He be paying him.
He keeps the pod going. He keeps us motherfucking Dapper and Dan. Well, not technically. We buy our own clothes. But you know what I mean? Metaphorically, he keeps us fresh. Because he keeps the pod going for you guys.
Keeps you fresh.
He keeps you fresh with motherfucking handful of beans, nigga. And if it wasn't for this gentleman, you wouldn't have it. And all he's asking you to do, this is an ad, by the way.
Yeah.
If you're a new listener. All he's asking you to do is go to his Instagram and follow him. Darren Bates.
DARENBATES. Bates
Darren-
like the Bates Motel.
Bates like the show Bates Motel. If
Does
you're
that
into
make
that
it
shit.
easier?
Hopefully that makes it easier. Darren Bates. And that's all he wants. He wants you to just follow him on Instagram.
On Instagram, his handle is
At WestlandSon_56. It's a beautiful picture of his mother. And that's who you'll know it's him. And he's an NFL player for the Titans. And he's played for the Rams. He's played for the Raiders. You know what I mean? My boy
he gets around.
The dude gets around. You know what I mean? But my boy played at Auburn. You know what I mean? Depending on whoever this because you don't know who's listening. Going, I like all those things.
Yeah, maybe you like football.
Maybe you like an Auburn. Maybe you're and you're like, wait, I didn't remember that guy. And yes, you should remember that guy because he's fucking awesome and he's here to you now. And all you got to do when you go follow him, you send him a little message or a nice little comment, and you say what?
The Bean sent you.
You just let him know the Bean sent you.
Also, check out his podcast. It goes hard. The Raw Room.
It does go hard. Raw Room.
Raw
on
Room.
all platforms. Raw Room. Literally, that's it. Raw Room, and you'll see it. You'll see me on it. You'll see
Deric's on there.
great other NFL players on it, like Chris Long,
Other NFL players like Deric,
Malcolm
will be on
Butler,
there.
and myself. A lot of people know I went pro
For a short period of time.
Short period of time, really short. I mean brief. But I was there, throwing around with the greats like Tom Brady and
Darren Bates.
I was there, dude. I was a baller.
You were a baller.
I was a baller, bro. I had my moment in the sun, dude. I had my time where people were screaming because I scored a touchdown.
Yo,
I had my time.
The funniest thing that's ever happened, and with me being with you.
This is gonna hurt my feelings.
It's gonna hurt my feelings.
If she enjoyed it that much, that means
I enjoyed this so much.
Didn't.
So Deric was on the Raw Room with Darren, obviously, and is it Tuzar?
Tuzar Skipper.
And
Wyatt Ray.
And they were all talking, and Darren tells him, like, yeah, Deric was the quarterback on our high school team. And they both look at him like, you played football?
And I was like, hey, fellas, it was 10 fucking years ago. Back off.
It was like 12 years ago. You're 30.
Yeah, you're right. It was like 13 years ago. Like, back the fuck off.
Yeah.
Back the fuck off, guys. We're not all running around doing fucking Navy SEAL training to stay in shape. They looked at him
like he was the oldest man that they'd ever seen. And
yeah.
Like, you couldn't possibly have played football.
Also, I forgot, too, that, like, oh, yeah, these niggas are not 30 like Darren.
Yeah, they're like 23 and 24 or something like
Darren's
that.
a vet.
Yeah.
Like, he's like an old guy in the military.
But if you look at Darren, you'd be like, that guy's like 22.
Well, they all have great skin.
Perfect skin.
And let me tell you something. Perfect
body.
Everyone in the league, anyone who's making that kind of money, and you don't have great skin,
what are you doing?
What? That's right. It's like, hey, clearly there's a level of money you get, and then people give you the better skincare products.
Yeah, that's a class issue.
Yeah, it's like an Illuminati thing. Like, you hit a certain level, and then you get to like suck dope, like goat dicks, and cut their heads off.
No, you get to drink baby blood.
You get to drink baby blood, but there's levels way before that where they just go, hey man, fix your skin.
They give you the diluted baby blood.
Yeah, and it's just a skin. And all it does is like clear up all the acne and
and you're like, whoa.
And you're like, damn.
Like this.
And then that's why rich people look like that. This is just a theory, but I'm 100% sure it's right.
But go check out Darren Bates. He's got fantastic skin. He's probably been drinking some baby's blood.
And that was all an ad.
Yeah, that was all an ad.
In the background, if you hear any clocks going off, her uncle, whose cabin we're at pretty much in Maine right now, which is awesome, by the way. It's fucking awesome here. It's so awesome.
There's snow outside.
There's snow.
We built a snowman.
I mean, Jesus Christ, it's amazing. But this nigga has 3,000 clocks with 3,000 different noises.
And they all go off at different times.
They all go off at different times. So if you do, right now, there's another one. If you do hear clocks going off, it's, and sometimes you're going to be like, oh, that's not a clock. That's a frog. It's a clock.
Don't worry. It's a clock.
It's a frog clock. And then this nigga has a bird clock. And then he has a fucking woolly mammoth clock. He has his bases covered. Every sound you can ever fucking imagine. He's got a clock for it.
Just let the bell reawaken your inner spirit and your connection to the source.
Exactly.
And, be in the moment. That's what I do.
That's pretty dope. I like the way you look at the world, dog.
I try to. Stay positive.
Man, you and Neil deGrasse Tyson would have a dope conversation, I think.
Yo, we totally would.
I think y'all would vibe.
I think we would start out talking about our childhoods.
And not even science stuff.
No, because how many times did anyone talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson and be like, hey, what was it like growing up in wherever you're from? And just breaking down like his relationship with his mom and his dad.
Whoa, so you guys don't talk science for weeks.
No, we go straight to like the deep, psychological, like the root of why he got into science. And then from there.
And like what movies he likes.
Yeah, and what movies he likes. And
music.
Then he trusts me. And then he tells me all the secrets of the universe.
And you go, are we all just pixels? Tell me.
He's like, shh.
Are we all just pixelated dots?
He's like, all right, well, since I know you so well now. Even though he doesn't know me at all. We've only talked about him, but because we've talked about him, he thinks he knows me.
God, and then you get the information from him and you can fucking kill him and he'll never even know who you were.
Exactly.
Dude, you're a smart lady. Can't get one by Sam.
Can't get past me, Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Serial killer. Yeah, hey, bro. That was all an ad for Darren Bates, by the way.
That was. If you guys are interested in advertising with us.
Oh yeah, hey, if also that is true. If you have any company out there, because thank you to T Fight K and King and the Sting, me going back on, we have got a whole new wave of listeners, and so if you have a small company out there, because we're still a small company, but we're growing, or a large company, whatever you have, and you'd like to do an ad on the pod, let us know.
Yeah, hit us up.
We'll let you know. Let us know what city you're in and all that stuff, and we'll let you know how we do in that city. Because certain cities, obviously, like Phoenix, we do very well. Like Dallas, we do extremely well. Some part of Australia, I don't know where, but it does well. Whatever you're from, thank you. I don't know where you're all from, but you're all listening.
I want to say it's the Perth side. I think
There's
it's a West Coast area
Melbourne,
that we get
maybe?
most of it. Yeah.
Maybe I think that's a podcast place. And then somewhere in the UK, you guys listen heavy because that's where and then in Canada, a lot of Vancouver, a lot of Montreal. So. If you have, and then of course California, San Diego, that's our biggest market. LA is like our second biggest market. San Francisco, like any of those big cities, New York. If you have a small company and you want us fucking give us, your fucking company out there on the pod, we'll do it.
Yeah,
we'll set up a deal. We'll figure it out, man. Let us know. We do an ad for my boy just because he wants the followers and he wants y'all to go transfer over to the Raw Room. And when y'all do, it means a lot.
It does. It makes you part of the family.
Yeah, we're a small family here, bro. Small family business. So if you want to work that out, hit me up. Hit up Spoil the Beans on Instagram, spoilthebeans at gmail.com on email if you want to be more professional about it.
Mm-hmm. You want to send a memo.
Yeah. Or just send some dick pics, whatever you want.
Yeah, that too. We're open to that.
We're just trying to have fun. Samantha, speaking of fun, you ready to have some fun, dog?
And this better be fun.
It better be fun. What did I do last time?
What did we do last time? I get them mixed up. We've done so many.
I feel like the last one we did was fun.
We did World War Z last time.
Was that not fun?
That was very fun. I will say that was fun. The only time I didn't have fun was No Country for Old Men.
No fun.
It was upsetting.
That movie should have been called No Fun for Sam.
No Fun for Sam. But No Country for Old Men is a very close name to No Fun for Sam. I could have guessed.
That's why I get it.
Yeah.
No Fun for, and then that's how, you know what? They should show a movie. So the movie's on, and it's just, the whole movie is you watching that movie, and it's called No Fun for Sam. It's just your facial expressions watching that.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like,
why would they do this?
Why would they do that? Now, that bell was not a clock.
Not a clock.
That is a rotary phone.
A rotary landline.
Like the kind you do.
Grring, grring. Yeah, everything in here is old.
Oh, yeah.
At some point, and I'm not kidding, you will see a ghost fly by.
You will definitely see a ghost. It's crazy. The house is not old, but everything inside the house is old.
Every single, everything we eat with is like 200 years old.
And it has a story that goes with it.
Yeah, he's like, oh, well, this spoon was eaten by General Ulysses S. Grant in the Civil War after he beat up a nigger. And it was like, oh, well, that's
it's always the
lovely.
South Side.
Yeah, it's always for the Union. For the Confederates.
Yeah.
But everything in this house saw slavery and saw it, saw
almost
black
everything.
People. Yeah, like all these chairs, literally this couch, it saw all the way from slavery up to Barack.
Oh, yeah.
Let me tell you, this couch is still not happy about it.
No, it's still getting over that one. Yeah. All the pictures are, if they're not of me.
Yeah, they're all of Sam.
They're either of me or they are of people who died 100 years ago.
200 years ago. And they're looking at us like this.
How come people back then were so angry?
Every picture, it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Is it in Cold Mountain where they're like, I didn't know to smile for the picture?
Yeah, she's like, I didn't know nothing about smiling. And then they both gave each other pictures of themselves, and they're both like that.
It's like, wow, people for years were just taking serious portraits and pictures. Like, no one was smiling before that?
No one was happy, dog.
Happiness
didn't exist
sad.
yet. That didn't come until like 1984.
Jeez. They don't even want you to smile on your license.
That's true, because they want shit to be. They want you to know, bro. It ain't no game out here, dog.
No.
It ain't no game. Sam?
Yes.
Can you do me a favor real quick?
What do you need?
Can you tell me, bro, my bro, who ain't no ho-ho? She's so cute. Damn, you're cute. What you think happens? Am I cute yet? Bald me?
I'm getting used to it. Do you guys think he looks like the main kid from Recess? You remember him? I think his name was TJ.
Sam keeps. Hold on, I'm gonna look this up. She keeps saying this shit
because of the hat. Without the hair, that you have the same face shape as him. I mean, he's white, but it's close.
Oh damn! That nigga, he got hair.
Yeah, but turn the other way. You have the same. Look at the shape of his face. It's like you have that little like.
Yeah, he looks like my dad.
Actually, that makes sense. He does look
He
like your
looks like my
dad.
dad, really.
Whoa, look at this picture of him with the thing. He looks just like your dad.
Damn.
How do I open it?
Just click on it. There
There
you
it
go.
is.
Yeah, he looks like my dad.
Yo, that's your dad.
That is my dad.
That's why you look like him.
Craziness. That's hilarious.
You should send that to your dad.
But I'm glad you're coming around to it.
I'm getting used to it. There's a lot of feelings I have. I don't know how to express them.
I know. She just keeps looking at me like I'm a fucking stranger, bro.
He is. Sometimes I wake up in the morning like,
Yeah.
that's why I had to sleep in the other bed.
Yeah, I know. She wakes up in this other bed. She keeps saying that.
I wake up and I'm scared and I have to move to the other bed.
And I think she just likes sleeping in a different bed. Couples used to do that back in the day, and I think Sam is figuring out why. She's like, ooh, nigga, I get my own bed in this house.
Yeah, I see you, Dick Van Dyke.
Samantha,
Yes.
can you tell me what you think happens in the fucking classic, a fucking cult classic, a movie you've never seen? Because that's the point of the pod.
The podcast.
The Meteor Man.
The Meteor Man?
The Meteor Man.
I don't even think I've ever heard of that movie.
Tell me what happens in it.
All right.
The Meteor Man.
I'm going to guess it's about a man that was living on a meteor. And he was like, you know what? I'm tired of living on this small rock. I want to be a big fish in a big rock. So he moves to Earth.
Okay.
And when he gets here, he has to sort of like learn all the Earth things, you know, sort of like a Conehead situation.
Okay.
Where you're like,
Conehead, yeah.
yeah, where they're sort of confused and like, what are we doing?
Great movie, by the way.
I know, that's one I have seen. Although I don't really remember much about it other than that.
It's funny.
And it's funny.
Dan Aykroyd, you know?
Yeah, I love Dan.
That guy's great.
So let's make our Meteor Man Dan Aykroyd just for
Okay, I like that.
comfort's
Let's just
sake.
make it Coneheads.
Yeah, so it's not Coneheads though, because it's just one man. It's not a whole family.
It's a meteor and a man.
It's a meteor. He was on the meteor. He jumps off the meteor to Earth. He comes here. He doesn't have a cone head. He has a regular head. And everyone's like, why doesn't he understand what's going on? Everything's like the first half of the movie is him understanding our culture. You know, like when Brendan Fraser comes out from underneath the ground.
Yeah, and Encino Man.
That's not what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the one where, remember he's like in a bunker and he's been living in a bunker for years and years and years. And then he comes up and it's like modern day.
The Mummy.
No, someone else will remember it and leave it in the comments. But that sort of situation where you come up and you're like, what is this? And you're learning everything. You know, that happens in a lot of movies.
It does.
So that's like 30 to 45 minutes of the movie is him understanding our reality. And
like
in
Elf.
Like Elf. Yes. And in the process, he falls in love with the girl. And he's like, I didn't know this
doesn't realize
feeling.
that this nigga is a meteor man.
Yeah, and he's confused because he's never experienced love before. He's been living on a meteor alone. So he's like, what is this feeling so sudden and new?
I like that.
I felt the moment. What happens? The girl is trying to like get with him and he doesn't understand. There's like maybe some weird kind of like sex scene because I'm going to assume this is like a 70s or 80s movie and they always do that. Like there's like a scene where she's trying to get it on and he's like, I don't know what this is for. You know, like in Speed or whatever it is. And that's on Speed.
Speed's on a bus.
What's the one where they're in the future and they're like having Keanu Reeves and her are having sex?
The Matrix.
Maybe that's it.
She hasn't seen that either.
Might be true. I've never seen The Matrix. So it doesn't work out. They don't have sex. And then she's mad and he doesn't understand why she's mad. And then like this villain who's trying to figure out what he is the whole time, he's like, you're not from here. There's always that guy too.
Like some guy probably trying to date her.
And he's trying to date her. And he's trying to expose this guy because he keeps noticing all these things about him. And
like
no one else is
alien, yeah.
Clearly alien, but no one else seems to be noticing.
Yeah, like this nigga has a tail or some shit.
He's like, hey, guys, this guy is not from here. Seriously. And he's trying to tell
like,
the
shut
girl.
the fuck up, Frank.
Yeah, he's like a kind of a dweeby dude.
Yeah, he's a dweeby guy.
And then he finally gets his revenge and exposes him. And Meteor Man's like, no, I don't want to be taken in by scientists to be probed and stuff.
Holy shit.
Of course, but it's America.
That
What
got
will we
dark.
do?
Yeah.
Well, that's how it is.
That
It's
is how
dark
it is.
here.
It gets real dark in this bitch.
It gets dark. And then what happens? And then the girl rescues him, and the guy that was against him realizes how he was wrong and helps her rescue him. And then he walks off into the sunset with the girl at the end.
She goes on to the meteor with him?
No, they leave and go like live in Mexico or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, they just live in like Costa Rica or something.
Yeah. They just escape the law.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Sam, I will say this: you are 100% in getting 0% right. So you are 100% in that.
Is it funny?
Huh?
Is it at least funny?
I'm not telling you what it is, but
Okay.
you'll find out what it is. But yeah, I want you to know that was one of the rare ones where you didn't get anything right at all.
Nothing.
Not even close.
There's no meteor?
There is a meteor.
Okay.
There isn't a meteor, so I guess you're right. 1%. You're 99. You get
Is
like
there a
1%
man?
every time. There's men.
Is there a woman?
There's women.
Okay, so you're acting like I didn't get any of it right.
Well, hey, okay, yeah. There are existent beings in it. There are existent beings in it. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this.
You see outer space. Credits roll. We see a meteor flying through space. You hear superhero music. Dun, 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 dun. The Meteor Man. Dun, 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 dun. You didn't even consider that, did you? Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. The asteroid explodes. A chunk starts heading towards our galaxy, like the Milky Way. Washington, D.C., present day. This movie came out in 1993. Wow, I don't know why I thought it was 80.
93. So
Movie
this
came out in 93,
hit
so
us.
present day.
I would have died
Yes.
because I live
We're
close
both
enough to
alive.
DC.
And
That,
yeah, you'd have really felt this.
I
You'd
would've
have felt
felt
this way
this.
before I did.
yeah.
So, well, I'm in Memphis, but yeah, way before me still.
Oh, I'd be eliminated. You might like just have the aftershock,
Good point.
depending on how big the meteor is.
So we see the city of DC, all the monuments and shit, and then we hear some fucking classic Michael Jackson. I don't know. I'm going to DC, Meteor Man. You know, it's like a song clearly made for this.
Oh, he did the soundtrack?
I don't think he did the soundtrack. It's just one song.
Okay.
Dude, a clock every 5 seconds. Hilarious.
It's actually every 15 minutes.
Pretty nuts. So just in case you're wondering how long you've been watching, go off the bird noises. So we hear the radio kick in, right? Like he's on the radio. It's 6 a.m. in the morning. Wake up, DC. Wake up, Washington, D.C. We have a beautiful day. You know, the sun's out. You know, and then we see a beautiful kind of dog is barking. Remember the kind of dog that we want?
Oh, those curly cues?
Yeah, those guys are awesome. It's one of those kind of dogs. And his name's Ellington. And he's like, Ellington, I'm up. And we see our lead, a young Robert Townsend.
I know that name, but I can't place the face.
You don't know who, remember did you watch The 5 Heartbeats with me? He
I
also
watched that with you.
He also directed this. He directed and he was the lead in that as well.
So he
He was the
directed
main
his
guy.
own
He was
movie.
Ducky in 5 Heartbeats.
Oh, yeah. I vaguely remember that. I know the name more than... Why is the name so familiar?
He also directed Raw, Eddie Murphy's special,
Oh.
and helped with that. This guy.
That guy. I remember that guy.
Oh, yeah, that's Robert Townsend. I mean, so many other things. He's a fucking legend. He's one of those just a legend director, actor, especially in Black Hollywood. So he's our lead. Okay. And we see him coming down the stairs. He's got like a suit on. He's walking down the stairs in his apartment. And he passes one apartment and the door's open. And it's not a young, but the great James Earl Jones.
Ooh.
He's got clearly a wig on, right? And he's trying on different wigs. And he's listening to jazz. And, you know, Jeff, our lead's name's Jeff. And he's like, good morning, Mr. Moses. He's like, hey, good morning, Jeff. And he's like, hey, I'll trade you one of my, like Duke Ellingtons for like 3 of those other records you got. And he's like, boy, I'll cut off my hands before I gave you a record. You know that. And they kind of laugh. He's like, never would I ever trade these, you know? And then he's like, all right, well, have a good day, Mr. Moses. All right, Jeff. He leaves. And then he's walking down and he's like, there's this really old lady who's like, hey, Miss Wilkes. And he's like, hey, Jeff, how you doing? He's like, oh, just another day. She's like, you teaching them kids, Jeff. You go on. He's a teacher.
Okay.
All right. And he's like, all right. And everybody, it just happens. He's just clearly like a great guy and the whole neighborhood loves him.
Okay.
So he gets to school and his friend is another teacher, the great and very young Eddie Griffin.
Ah.
Comedy Store guy.
Nice.
Right?
So this is a funny movie.
Yes. Or is it?
Or is it?
We find out Jeff is in a jazz band.
Cool.
He's a part-time teacher. He's a sub.
Does he teach band?
Is this also soul?
I know.
I was watching that. I was like, is this just where soul got that from? What the fuck?
They're like, we need a narrative for a black man.
No, he teaches like a regular
He'll
class.
teach music and jazz.
No, he teaches a regular class. But he's really in a jazz band, and that's his true passion, obviously.
Okay.
Eddie Griffin's in the band as well, and he's telling him like, hey, you got to get over your ex, blah blah blah. I got girls coming to both the shows tonight, so get your mind off that. And he's like, oh, you're right. And then he goes, you keep killing it the way you were on that bass. This is Eddie Griffin. On that bass, nigga, you ain't gonna be a teach for much longer. I'll tell you that. He's like, thanks, man. All right, they leave. So he walks into the office and he sees one mom make her son apologize to him for being bad, like yesterday. He's like, oh, it's all right, no good. But he talks to her and then he leaves. He goes into the principal's office and there's a kid in the principal's office with like a broken arm. And then she's like, you've done it this time, Mr. Reed. And he's like, what did I do? And she's like, this. And then you see the pissed off parents in the like sitting next to their kid in the cast. And he's like, we teach our son to fight back from bullies. But our son told us Mr. Reed said don't. Yo, that's hilarious. Guys, this is where we chose to film today. Was it a mistake?
Yeah, I guess we should have stayed in the other room.
Should have stayed in the other room. I do apologize for this.
It might not be as loud for them because we're using the mics.
That's true, but I don't know. Just in case. If you hear it, sorry.
We apologize.
If you don't even know what we're talking about. Suck my dick and her pussy, bro. We're just trying to help and be nice.
Go ahead.
Sometimes I have to yell at them. I'm sorry.
I know. You're so mean.
I can't help it.
Don't yell at our babies like that.
They're beans.
My beans. Don't yell at my beans like that.
Sam's nice to y'all. I'm not. Good cop, bad cop. So this nigga, he's like, you're not going to be a teacher much longer. So he walks into the principal's office.
the kid didn't, oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
You're backtracking.
Yeah, I'm sorry, backtracking.
Okay.
So that, and then, he sees a kid who has to apologize to him by the mom. He goes in. There's other parents yelling at him because their kid's in a cast. Yeah. And they go, we teach our son to fight back from bullies. But he said, Mr. Reed said run. Mr. Reed said just eat your lunch quicker. Mr. Reed says all this other shit, right? And everyone beats him up. Did you know a girl did this to him, Mr. Reed? A girl smaller than him. Mr. Reed, have you ever stood up for yourself? And he's like, And then the principal's like, we're sorry. He's just a sub. He's not even here full time. And then she looks at him, she goes, Mr. Reed, if you want to stay on board here, no more of this teaching your own philosophy on life. Only from the books. And he's like, I'm sorry. And he looks at the kid and he's like, I'm sorry. The kid's like, ah, because he touches his broken arm. He's and he just walks out. Right? So Mr. Reed, he walks with his dad, the guy, James Earl Jones guy, his mom, and another old lady. And they're all walking, right? This is later on in the day. And they see a gang. Up ahead of him, clearly like a gang. And Jeff's like, oh, let's cross the street. And his dad, the older man, is like, boy, I ain't crossing no goddamn street in my own neighborhood. I ain't doing that. I'm walking. And they're like, Ted. And they all cross the street, but the dad doesn't. He keeps walking. And then we see the gangster.
Yeah. A
very young Don Cheadle.
Whoa, he's the gangster?
Yeah.
That's funny.
He's good in this. You can see it in this. Like, oh, wow, he's like the only, he's like, everybody else is kind of putting on a show, a little more cheesy. He's like, oh, this nigga might be scary.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're like, oh, this nigga might be if I met him, I'd be like, oh shit, bro.
He's kind of always scary.
He's good. He knows how to be intense. I mean, not as because he plays a real cornball in the MCU universe.
Yeah, he does in the MCU universe.
He's War Machine, and War Machine's like a cornball.
Yeah, I feel like War Machine ends up being a cornball only because War Machine is just Iron Man.
But only because Iron Man built him a suit.
I know, that's why. It's like you're off-brand Iron Man. You're not even the brains behind Iron Man. You're just Iron Man.
You're just like Iron Man's friend who he gave a suit to.
Yeah, you're just Iron Man's friend he gave a suit.
Anybody could be given a suit.
Yeah, no one knew you get to be a cornball.
Yeah, but he makes fun of himself. I do like how he plays it.
I do too. The only thing this is sad. The only thing that's redeeming about him is that he loses his leg. So then you're like,
you're like, oh, I care about him.
Now I care about him.
I didn't know the nigga had.
He needs the suit now. It's like
and then Iron Man had to build him the fucking fake legs.
Yeah.
Also Iron Man. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Learn to build your own suit, War Machine.
War Machine, do something, you fucking loser.
Stop being such a tool.
Fucking. Oh, come on, dude. Not bad, Sam. Don Cheadle. They're selling crack. You see crack, right? And the old man.
What does crack look like?
Like a little white vial, like maybe this big, maybe that big, and you see it like a little rocked up cocaine. So the old man bumps into him, and it falls. And Don Cheadle's like, "You lucky that didn't break, old man." And he goes down to pick it up, and the old man steps on it. And Don Cheadle takes his glasses off and his jacket, like he's about to kick his fucking ass, and then the cops roll by. He's like, I'll see you later, old man. And then I love the old man's like, don't see me later. See me now, punk. I'm right here. I do love that because you're like, oh, this old man's awesome.
Is this your dad?
I think so. So we see Jeff, right? It's later that night, and he's got his bass, and he's going to his show. Mm-hmm. But he stops by the community center, and the town's having a meeting. And they're having a meeting about fighting off these drug lords. We're sick of these guys in our neighborhood. You're not ready for this movie. I can tell you're like, whoa, I did not see all this in the meteor. Okay, you're like, it's got to be about a nigga who rides a meteor to Earth.
You know what I also thought it might have been? There's a movie with Robin Williams I've never seen, but I've seen the
Bicentennial Man. Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
I've seen the thing on it.
I didn't like that movie.
Oh, okay.
But I've seen it. Yeah.
I've seen the cover for it like on Netflix before.
It's like, and he's like shiny.
Yeah, and I thought maybe that was this movie. But I didn't know what that movie was about either.
Yeah, it's not this. As you're slowly, I like how this is slowly unveiling to you, and you're like, yo, this might as well be No Country for Old Men. Because I don't know what the fuck is going on. So, but everybody in it is super famous.
Oh, yeah.
So we see they're having this meeting, and the dad's leading it, right? And he's like, yo, we got to wear we're all going to wear these bright orange caps that say, like, this is our neighborhood. And he's going to, like, we're all going to carry whistles from now on. And, like, we're all going to help each other. And then, like, a neighborhood watch. And
Are
all
they,
that
like,
shit.
at a big city, like a New York type place?
They're in D.C.
They're in D.C., that's right.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is just for this neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because it's, like, a bad neighborhood. So, right there, while this is all happening, this is so, wow, this is crazy. Because I get this next scene more than anything in the world. Luckily, I haven't had to do it in a long time, but I understand the feeling. You see, he comes in, Jeff, and as their parents are going to meet, he gets behind the mom and dad, and he goes, hey, guys, I need to borrow money for gas to get to my show.
Ooh.
I was like, who is this part for, Robert Townsend?
It's for every person that's ever tried to make it.
Yep. It's like, hey, remember that? Remember when that was you? Remember when you had to ask niggas to borrow just gas money to get to the show?
Just gas money.
Crazy. And the dad, of course, starts giving him shit, obviously, for being like 30 plus and needing money. Mm-hmm. Right? They give it to him. The people in town start going off about how they're like, this is stupid. We're not wearing hats. Like, this is dumb. These are gangsters. They have guns. They'll kill us. What do we have? Whistles. And then you see even Jeff goes, yeah, guys, his parents just gave him money and he disagrees with his parents. I was like, that's a bitch ass move. And he's like, yeah, guys, we can't win this fight, guys. You got to know that, right? And then he leaves. Sam, if you're the mom there, you're like, hey, give me that $10 back.
Yeah.
You fucking.
What is your problem?
Yo, if I give you money, at least right in this moment, this is your team.
Yeah, be on my side.
So Jeff, he runs out to his car. It was broken into. Damn. They took his radio. They take my bass. His bass is gone. That probably would be the most my, because that's super expensive.
So expensive.
And if you have a nice one where you're playing a jazz band, like.
Also, it's not like you can just get another one right away.
You'd have to maybe borrow one from the school if they have one, and it's not gonna be like a great one like you want.
And also, it's not the one you're used to. Like people who play an instrument like that, where it's their instrument, they're very particular about it because every instrument is different. You know, they're all handmade mostly. That's
why when I think of Green Mile, I always remember that one scene where the piano guy, the pianist dude, the black dude, he's like, hey, I need this piano, and like that, and it comes in his contract like. Every venue, and it's like, oh, because if you play at that level, you're right. It's like, yo, this is the piano I play on.
I need Green Book.
The Green Book. That's what I said. I said Green Mile.
You said Green Mile.
Yeah,
like,
way different
so
movie.
Confused.
Yeah, I like how you're like, John Coffey was playing the fucking piano in that.
I don't remember them bringing a piano to the prison.
The nigga couldn't read. They brought a piano to the prison. Yo, that's so funny. No, but you know what I mean. In the Green Book, like it's like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I never thought of that. So he's like, fuck. He looks around. And he sees spray paint everywhere. It says Golden Lords everywhere. And he sees these little kids robbing a lady. And he recognizes it's the little kid from his class that he saw earlier. Not the broken arm one, but the other one.
But the other one that apologized to him.
And he's like, Dre! And the kid stops and he's like, and then right then you hear a slinky. Like, shink, 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 shink. Like the sound of a slinky. And you see a line of little gangsters with golden hair come up. Like maybe they're all 8.
What?
And then you see another line of like 12 to 13, 14-year-old gangsters. And then you see another line of like grown men gangsters. And they all have the same outfit on and golden hair. Everybody's black too, okay?
Okay.
And then you see
so they all
leader.
look like what's his face on the
Blonde. Frank Ocean on the Blonde
Ocean
album. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or Dennis Rodman when he had gold
nice
hair. You know what I mean? Like that. But they all have like black suits on. Like even Don Cheadle, we saw him earlier, he had on black and he had gold hair.
But they're wearing like a suit?
Not suit. Like, no, they look nice. So everybody's clean. Like, they look like they got but just button downs, some nice ass pants.
Okay.
Black shoes.
Okay.
Like black, like combat boots almost. And then like some of them had like black trench coats and some didn't. You know what I mean? But everybody has like gold jewelry,
Yeah, it's
gold
the 90s.
teeth. So
It's
it
hard
like
to
it
say.
looks like, I mean, they look like drug dealers, but they all look cool as fuck. I would give them that. And then so you see their leader walk up, and the leader was also in the 5 Heartbeats. I don't know if you remember this. There was a guy. Remember when they sang in the contest, and there was a guy who paid the girls to like sing for him, and he went out for he lost.
Oh, he was against them.
He was against,
Yes.
and he's in the whole rest of the movie, and he
Yeah.
like kind of has a weird career. And he gets like almost thrown off a balcony. Him. So he's the bad guy in this.
All right.
I like that Robert Townsend also. I love this about any director when they use the same people.
Oh yeah, it's like I like this guy.
You're like,
I know
hey,
what
these
they
are
can
my
do.
boys, or this is just my friend,
It's your friend, or sometimes I think they know what this person can do,
and that's what I need.
and that's what I need.
That is fact.
Or if you're writing your own scripts too, especially.
Yeah, and you're directing you, so you're in charge of all casting for sure. Yeah. So
Wait, so the kids in the neighborhood are a part of this gang that they're
Yes.
trying to eliminate. So all these people that are banding together, why don't they just take better care of their kids?
Sam, I mean, hey, one problem at a time.
Okay.
Yo, so right then Jeff sees all of them and he takes off running, and then he goes like everybody runs after him, and you hear in the background chanting, "Lords, lords, lords," and they're all chasing after him. And then he looks at the little kids, the 2 kids that are robbing the lady. He's like, "You want to be a golden lord? Go get him!" And the 2 little kids run after him. So you see Jeff, he jumps in a dumpster, and everybody runs by, and then Don Cheadle's looking around. He's like, "Where's he at?" He's like, "Well, don't stand there looking stupid. Find him." And then they all start searching for him, right? And then the little kid, the kid Dre, right? He opens up the dumpster and he sees him, and they stare at each other. And then Don Cheadle's like, "Well, is he in there, Squirrel?" And he's like, "Nah, he ain't in here." And he closes it. And Jeff's like, "It's nice." What's wrong?
This is crazy.
Are you feeling stuff? Or are you like, whoa, what is this?
What is this gang?
What is? And who
Wait,
is
also,
this?
what gang is not that they're not organized, because of course gangs are organized, but so organized that like you have your troops organized by age.
By age, and they line up. It's like combat. Yeah.
Okay.
This is crazy. So
Also, how are they getting them in this gang? Like, is there like what's the draw? Are they giving them crack?
I mean, making money clearly, and you look nice, and you're in a
Making
poverty
money.
area. I mean,
Yeah,
you know
that's
that
true.
the actual things that white people
Yeah,
join
that
a gang
makes
in real
sense.
life.
Yeah, you're right. It's for safety, maybe.
Yeah, yeah. Just like, oh, this is better than not being in a gang, living in
That's
this
fair.
neighborhood. That's why I totally get it when people. I don't get the people who don't understand people. Like, because I immediately said that, and you're like, oh yeah, that all makes sense.
Yeah,
Of
well,
course
that
you
all
join a
makes
gang.
sense. But I guess
No,
more
this movie version.
the movie version, and like having like the whole community being like, we got to get rid of this gang, and it's like, yo, half of y'all's kids are in the gang, so this seems like
I
it's
get the adults. That you can't stop the adult Golden
Yeah,
Lords.
but, like-
the teenage down Golden Lords.
not even the teenage. I'm saying like the
the babies?
12-year-olds to the 5-year-olds
Yeah, that are in the Golden
that are in the
Lords.
maybe like give them a curfew.
I like how you're blaming the parents, though. I get it.
I mean, obviously, I'm sure the parents
people
are
maybe are at
working
work.
and whatever, but if you have the time to form a community group to get rid of the gang, you have the time to punish your child.
Or it's like, hey, punish someone else's. Like, you don't have to put hand, but like grab him and be like, hey, well, you're gonna stay with me till your mom gets here, because you know he's
They're
6.
kids.
You can grab him. So, Jeff stays in the dumpster for a couple hours to be safe.
Jeez,
Right?
Jeff, you're such a puss.
Ooh, he is. He heads out down the alley and he walks by this homeless man passed out on the ground, and then the wind starts blowing real hard, and he looks up and he sees something green coming at him, and he's like, oh shit, and he takes off running, and this huge meteor is right behind him, and he runs, and he gets to like an end of like a dead end, and he turns around and the meteor hits him dead in the chest, and it goes into his body, and you see his body getting all burnt up to a crisp. Ah! Ah! You see his skin all fucked up, and then he fucking passes out, right? The homeless man walks up on him. You can't see his face though, and there's a green piece of the meteor laying next to him, and you see the homeless man go down to grab it. Cut to, okay? We see Jeff being rushed into the hospital. He's all burnt up. His family and friends are all screaming, Jeff! Like Eddie, his mom, his dad. It is like, damn, this is intense. Like, because they're like, black, they're like, where it's like they're screaming, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Jeff! And as the doctor, you see the doctor's working on him, and they notice as they're working on him, his skin starts healing itself.
Huh.
Cut to, right? He's all bandaged up. You see, he's all bandaged up. Eddie Griffin's there, and he's praying for him, right? A beautiful nurse comes in her name's Vanessa. She's like, I'll be here. Just push the button, sweetheart, and I'll be here if you need me. And then she walks out. You see all the doctors in a room, like all the doctors in the whole hospital, and they're looking at his x-rays, and they all can't believe it. They all go back into his room, and they're like, sir, are you awake? Wake up. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm awake. And they're like, we need to cut these bandages off now, sir. And they cut him away, and they're all like, oh my God. Oh my God. And he's like, what? What's wrong? And he looks at himself, and he's completely fine. And the doctor, the head doctor, blames it on the doctor who gave the analysis that he had like the worst 3rd-degree burns that they've ever seen and all this stuff. He's like, clearly he's fine. Why would you write that stuff down? And I like that the other doctor's like, he did. And no one believes him. They're all like, this fucking idiot. And it's like a woman doctor. She's like, but what the fuck? Like, it wasn't just me working on him. Like, Tom, did we not see a guy with fucking
Why do you think we wrapped him up?
Yeah, like, what am I, a fucking idiot? This is my first day? I just want to lie all of a sudden? Like, what do you...
Oh, my God.
Why would I waste my time? I like her because her face
I guess
is like,
so. That makes more sense than him just healing.
Yeah, that does. It's like, oh, you're just an idiot, Sharon. And while they're saying this, like, the woman has a book, and she's like, no, he did. Jeff's hand hits the book accidentally, like the book hits his hand, and you see like some green like radiation going to the book, and then Jeff goes, actually, and he starts saying everything out of the book immediately.
Whoa.
Like, that's one of his powers.
He can just absorb knowledge?
Yeah.
See, that's what I've always wanted.
Now, that's a power I can totally get behind.
Yeah, that happened in Kenan and Kel. There was an episode where they could like it was like in the future, and they could put these things on their heads, and it just absorbed all the knowledge.
Ooh, and Kel, did he put like grape soda in it so he could still absorb all the grape soda? I mean, orange soda.
Orange soda. I think that probably was part of it. It seems like something they would write in.
I would have done that. Just fuck right. I'd have just done it.
Yeah.
Just filled my head up with orange soda.
That'd be a lot.
Sounds delicious.
So if anything he touches, like if he touches a person.
No, just books. As far as we know
books.
now.
Okay.
So he says all a bunch of stuff about like why the woman could possibly be right about the burns and all this stuff and how it could have burns, but it did heal, like, because he knows everything out of the book. And they're like, whoa. And then he says the page number, and the doctors all can't believe it. And he makes the one doctor, the head guy, look like an idiot. And the doctor goes, oh, well, what about this? And he asks him another question. And then Jeff goes, oh, well, that's an easy answer. And he goes to answer it, and he forgets it.
Oh.
All right?
So it doesn't last.
It doesn't last. So in his room, time goes by, he wakes up, and he notices he can see through all the walls. And he's like, cool. Oh, shit. And he looks outside, and he sees everyone's underwear. He can see through clothes. Whoa. But not underwear.
Why not underwear?
I don't know. That's the one power. It's like, well, this is fucking useless.
Well, also, it doesn't make sense. Like, what is it that underwear is made of that keeps you from seeing through
Something good, like whatever they're making it with.
It's
but everyone also had
cotton.
on white underwear. Everyone had on white cotton underwear. No one had on anything else but white cotton underwear. And so he goes, I can see through anything. And then he lays back in bed and he calls for his nurse because she's super hot.
Oh.
And then we see an old lady come in, and he's like, oh. And he's like, where's Vanessa? She's like, Vanessa, honey, I can do anything she can do. Everybody think of Vanessa so goddamn cute. I'm cute too. I love that this nurse is like, fuck that bitch.
You don't. I'm talking about. I don't want to hit that.
I'm also attractive.
Yeah. How old is she? Like
60,
ancient?
70. Yeah.
Oh, like just middle aged.
60, 70?
Yeah, I guess that's old.
Yeah. What? 60, 70. She's still working. That's impressive.
That's impressive, actually.
It's a hard job.
As a nurse.
That's a fucking
on your feet all day.
And you lot of.
And they didn't have Crocs back then.
And they got to do stuff sometimes. Sometimes all the doctors are busy and they have to do it.
Yeah, they got to put needles in bodies.
All kinds of shit. Or deliver babies.
Sometimes that happens.
So she takes him outside. And his homeboy Eddie's there to pick him up. He's completely fine now, right? We see all the Golden Lords having a meeting about how they have all of DC locked up, all of Baltimore locked up. Next is New York City. They're expanding their gang.
What are they, like M316?
I guess so, dude. M316.
Whatever it's called.
M316. Sure, that's a fucking firecracker. So Jeff gets home to his dog, and he's like, Ellington, hey, boy, you hungry? You hungry? We got chicken, liver, and beef. What do you want? I missed you. And the dog goes, roof, roof. And he hears the one in the red can. And he turns around. Aren't you loving his powers?
Yeah, these are cool
random
powers.
He's like, whoa, they're random, but I'll take them, dude.
Yeah.
And the dog's like, I'm starving. Roof, roof. And Jeff barks back. And he's like, can you understand me? And the dog's like, yeah. And he's like, what the fuck? And then his boy Eddie Griffin comes in. And he's, yo, I can talk to Ellington. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, I can talk to him. Watch. And he barks. And then the dog barks back. And he's like, listen, bro, you darked you barked and the dog barked. I don't know if that's necessarily talking to it.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, anytime I touch a book, I can obtain all its knowledge for like 30 seconds. And he's like, really? He's like, yeah, give me a book. And he's like, here. And he grabs the New Jet magazine. So there's no way you could have read this. I just pulled it out of your mail. And he holds it and he touches it. And then he tells him everything that's going on in Jet.
Yeah.
Which is funny.
That's
it's
really
just
funny.
Everything going on in Jet. You know? And then he's like, holy shit, you have superpowers. And then they talk about, like, they open the newspaper and talk about the night the meteor fell. He's like, wow, I don't know what it was, but whatever it was, it gave me superpowers. He goes, damn, well, do you think anyone else got superpowers from it? Cut 2. We see a family who's watching TV, but their TV keeps changing. And they're like, God damn it, what's wrong with this TV? Camera pans back and you see someone looking through the wall, and it's the homeless man changing their channels like this. The camera turns. It's Bill Cosby.
What?
Yeah, I know.
That's why they didn't show us who he was.
It was a surprise.
That's a great surprise.
I mean, especially in 93. Oh my God.
Oh yeah.
That's height of Cosby Show.
Height.
So we're talking
Peak
Cosby Show, and
He's already Bill Cosby.
He was so famous before the Cosby Show. That's what's crazy.
Well, because didn't he have his other Cosby Show before the one? Because there's several. There's like 2.
Those are after.
Oh, those are after.
But he had the Fat Albert Show.
Oh, that's right.
So that's what you definitely know him from that, and then you knew his stand-up was like some of the big. He was the biggest comic in the world, and then all the other little roles and things he's doing like that. So you have all that, and then you do the Cosby Show. But you're already super famous before the Cosby Show.
And now he's just like in this movie.
Because you think about the Cosby Show, the first season, he's fucking 50.
Yeah, he's old. Also, it doesn't make sense that they have that. I mean, it makes sense that they have all these old grown kids, but then they have all these young kids. It's like, what is this family?
This family is, Aunt
busy.
Claire is hot as shit.
Yeah. They be busy. And they both have full-time jobs.
And like crazy hard jobs.
Yeah, it's that. And they're barely ever working.
Yeah, because they do all these family time activities and family stuff, and they always have family dinner, and it's like, yo, this is bullshit.
Yeah. And they have time to do everything.
One of them should be home sometimes.
Shouldn't be
at different times. Like it'd be like, because the other one would be so busy.
Yeah.
The lawyer, are you kidding me? She's a lawyer?
She's a lawyer.
She's like a top lawyer in New York.
He's a obstetrician.
Yeah.
Or OBGYN.
OBGYN. And they have that huge house in New York, by the way.
Yeah.
Huge. And they live in New York. Like they live in New York.
No, they live in New York.
Like you see the house that they live in, it's like, oh, because it's one of those like, oh, they have their own front stoop and then that's it, and then the house goes up.
Yeah,
but in New York,
it's a row home,
those are like, how expensive are those?
So expensive. Because think of how much it must cost to have one of those like New York apartments, like even the
nice ones.
Yeah, like the nice ones, like what Gaffigan lives in with his family.
Oh my
you
God.
see their family; they have a lot of kids too.
Yeah, but I can't imagine what that costs.
So much.
All those rooms.
All those rooms, and the Cosby house had a lot of rooms.
Oh my God! And his office was downstairs.
Yeah, none of the kids shared a room, did they?
No. Yeah, one of them did.
The 2 younger ones.
2 young girls.
Rudy and what's the other one's name?
Vanessa. They share a room until Denise leaves.
Until Denise leaves. We missed you, Denise.
And then I guess Denise and Sandra would have shared a room.
It probably.
It had to. Sandra left first, so Denise and Sandra would have shared a room. Because the other kids, Theo's going to have his own room because the other ones are girls.
Sandra's so old. She might have left before Rudy even showed up. Because think of how Sandra's not in the house and when the show starts, and Rudy's like, what, 6?
Sandra's off in college. Actually, yeah. You're right. There might not have been overlap in that.
It might have just been that 2 girls had to share at a time, and then the oldest one always had their own room.
That's how that works.
That's normally how that goes. Theo, that lucky bastard, had his own room the whole time.
I know. Penises, bro. We get it all.
Or just being the only one of your gender. That's the
it could have been the other way around.
Yeah.
He'd had to share a room.
I always had my own room, and my brothers always had to share a room.
No, lucky girl. I had to share a room where we lived in San Diego, and then when we got to Memphis, after I was 6, I never had to share a room until college.
Until you met me.
And then I met you.
Now we always will have to share a room.
I know, isn't that crazy?
Still
You don't
getting used
seem
to the
thrilled about
idea.
it? Are you kidding me? Come on, I'm great.
You're great. It's just I like my own space.
Oh, whatever.
And you take up a
Also,
lot
I
of
fart
it.
on you all the time.
And
Isn't
he
that awesome?
farts on me all the time. I'm never cold.
Oh. So you see Bill, he's using his powers, and he's like making himself a cup of coffee, and he's like using his powers, like making the tea level,
Cool.
the coffee cup. And I always thought that was so cool. I was like, man, I So far, they haven't done anything crazy with their powers, but I love all the things that they've done.
You're just simplifying your life.
Just simplifying your life powers. So we see Jeff's dad walking, right? And Debo from Friday, who just R.I.P., he pushes him down. He's one of the Golden Lords. And then he looks up the dad and he sees a bunch of Golden Lords surrounding him. He's like, oh, shit. Right? Cut to, you see the teachers having a meeting on how bad the kids have been. And Mr. Reed gives a speech. He's like, no, they're not bad kids. We just got to give them a chance. And as he's giving the speech, he's looking through the walls and sees like kids like robbing other kids and kids like stealing shit from a car. And he's like, oh, and he keeps trying to give this speech. Mm-hmm. He gets home and he finds out his dad just got released from the hospital.
Oh, my God.
Right? And he's like, Dad. And the neighborhood's all there. He's like, Dad, are you okay? And he's like, we got to get you out of here. He's like, I'm not letting these punks run me out of my neighborhood. And then right then the Golden Lords all show up. And she was like, back from the hospital already, old man? And how you feeling? They walk up on him to beat him up again. And Jeff grabs them both and throws them like far as shit across the street. Everybody's like, oh, and then hero music starts playing. Dun, 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 dun. And then Debo walks up and he's like, goes to punch him in the stomach and he breaks his hand.
Nice.
Ah! And Jeff's like, whoa. And then right then a guy uses the car to try and smash into Jeff. And Jeff, boom, stops it with his hands.
What is it, the Hulk?
Yeah, and they go flying out the window. And Jeff's like, always wear your seat belts, huh? And then they're like, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. And they drive off, right? So the neighborhood is like, oh, shit. And the mom and dad walk up and, boy, you been using steroids? He's like, no, it's just the accident. I was hit by that meteor, and I think it gave me powers. And the mom's like, what? And he's like, don't tell anybody, mom and dad. Just don't tell anybody. Just say something else. And he runs home, right? So the next morning, he's late for work. And you see him run out of his house, and you see Bill Cosby like pushing his cart by, and they like just kind of run by each other. Right? The Golden Lords drive by and go, hey, punk! And they start shooting. They light him up. Like,
oh, wow.
And it's all in slow motion. He gets hit like 100 times. And then he falls. And they go, drive off. And they drive off laughing. And then they stop and they turn because one of them turns around and you see him getting back up.
Wow.
And they're like, no, we got him. What? And they back this thing up and they start backing it up and trying to like back into him. Uh-huh. Jeff starts running, and as he starts running really fast and he starts flying. And then he grabs onto the light post and they're like, what the fuck? Drive off. They drive off. Okay. So Jeff falls down because he's scared of heights.
Oh.
And he falls and he like causes a whole earthquake in DC. The first ever. I didn't know you guys didn't get earthquakes.
We don't really. There was one when I was like 16. That's why you can't go up in the Washington Monument anymore. It affected it.
Oh, damn, that makes sense. They did it in Spider-Man Homecoming, though.
They did. That was a lie. You can't do that anymore.
Fucking liars, Marvel. So he gets to his folks' house. He runs to his folks' house. And he's like, Mom, Dad, I got to tell you something. They go, son, sit down. So your mother and I stayed up all night, and we've been thinking about your powers. And he's like, what? And he's like, no, Dad, you guys got to listen. The Golden Lords just shot at me. They know who I am. He goes, yeah, but look at you. You're fine. And he goes, look, we got to clean up all the crack houses, and then we'll clean up the whole city. And your mother's been up all night, and look at this. And the mom goes, ta-da! And she built like a uniform for him.
Oh, I love this family. This is your parents.
I know. So supportive. And he's like, what, Dad? Come on. And the uniform's ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And the mom's like, you'll be Meteor Man.
Creative.
And they go, these gangbangers need a wake-up call. And you in this uniform? And he's like, Mom, it looks silly as hell. No. Right? And the mom's like, no, it doesn't. You'll be the best dressed superhero, better than Batman and Superman. And what's that child's name? And they go, Spider-Man? Yeah, better than him.
Ooh.
That's actually a big, because his uniform's fucking.
Yeah, Spider-Man has the best uniform.
Over Batman?
Yeah. Batman has a cape. A cape is absolutely useless.
Spider-Man's uniform is all utility, and it's dope looking. The colors are dope.
It's really dope. Also, there's
Cap's uniform's fire too.
There's different variations of the Spider-Man
That's
uniform.
True.
Like you have the black one, and you have like the all blue and the traditional. And
I like Doctor Strange's because his cape is functional though. His cape is like a personality.
Yeah, someone thought about that a lot. They were like, okay, this is silly for someone to have a cape unless it has a cape
that had its own superpowers. Mm-hmm. Now that's a cape.
Is he a Stan Lee creation?
I think so. He's Marvel, right? I don't know.
But he didn't create all of the characters.
Oh, he might not have created every single one. Maybe he would. I mean, I don't know.
I wonder.
Black Panther's uniform's fire too.
Yeah, that's a pretty fire uniform.
It comes out of the necklace. Like that's fire.
That's really cool.
That's fire. So, the mom gets back, like us, goes back to sewing, right? She's going to make a better uniform.
Oh.
The Golden Lord's boss goes off on how clearly he had a bulletproof vest. And they're like, no, we shot him. He's like, he had a vest on, you idiots. And they're like, and he's like, shut that nonsense up about flying. If you lost him, just say you lost him. I'm like, boss, this motherfucker flew. And so right then the town has a meeting thanking Jeff for shooing the gains away and what he's going to do. And he's like, Mom, what? And they're all like, Meteor Man. And he's like, Mom, you told everybody? And then she's like, I know, baby, but we're just so proud of you. And he's like, oh my God. And they go, Jeff, so we ask you if you can just patrol the neighborhood 3 times a week in your uniform, and the community can put a phone in your apartment like the Batman has, the Meteor Man phone. And he's like, what?
The Batman did not have a phone. He had a light.
He had a light.
He's like the Powerpuff Girls.
No, in the show, he had a bat phone.
Oh, he had a bat phone.
That's what they were going. Also, this is that time.
Yeah, it's that era.
There's only been one Batman movie at this time. Yeah. And I don't think there's the bat signal in that one.
Okay.
In the one with Michael Keaton.
Oh, we're thinking about the Kong Pow.
That's what they're thinking about.
That one. Yeah, I remember that. Okay.
The Adam West one.
Yes.
So, a guy, like, he's like, I don't know about all this, and everyone starts cheering for him. And a guy takes a picture of him, and he looks at it, and in the Polaroid picture, Jeff's all meteor.
Wow.
Weird, right?
That's cool.
So he leaves thinking, like, man, I can't do this. I just can't. And he walks home. And as he's walking home, there's news cameras everywhere. He's like, what's going on? And there's hospital trucks, ambulances. And he goes, and he sees James Earl Jones giving a statement like, oh, she was a nice lady and she didn't deserve this. And, and then we see the nice lady from the beginning. She was beaten unconscious by the gangs.
What?
I know, right? And you see her like getting wheeled off and she's completely fucked up.
She's dead or she's
beaten unconscious. She's still alive.
Jeez. Yeah, someone's got to stop these gangs.
Like, well, that's like, a 65-year-old woman, you beat her unconscious?
Also, for what? It's not like she wasn't like paying you for the crack. She wasn't buying crack.
She was just a nice lady and lived there. Usually also gangs do, like, they are like territorial about their own neighbor. Usually they protect their own neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's the other neighborhoods.
Yeah, I don't understand what these Golden Lords are up to.
Yeah, this is like bad gang shit.
You guys need to restructure your gang.
Gotta restructure. And so right then, Jeff hugs James Earl Jones, who's crying. He's such a good actor. He's like really crying too. And then he goes, I will never let this happen again. And then doom, 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 and music kicks in. We see the mom reading comic books. Montage starts, and you see her like making a uniform. He tries it on, and he doesn't like it. Like that kind of montage.
Yeah.
And then another uniform, and then like Eddie Griffin's like, the dad's like, definitely not that one, right? And you see him like practicing all his powers, and he's like using his laser vision to like cook breakfast. And he's like, trying to like fly around, but not high because he's scared of heights. And then finally the mom nails it. And he has a big MM on his chest. And you hear like, dun, 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 dun. And it's like, his whole suit is like gray. And it has like green boots and like a green like hat kind of thing. And everybody nods in approval. And he flies out the window and he's super low still. Okay? And he goes to a crack house. And we see Biz Marquee. You remember, who Biz Marquee is running the crack house? Oh, baby, you.
Oh, that guy.
You got what I need.
Yeah.
But you say he's just a friend. You say he's just a friend.
Oh, baby, you. You got what I need.
But you say he's just a friend. That song goes hard.
Is that the only song he ever did?
No, he did some more, but that's the big one. And then he's running the crack house, and Meteor Man busts in, and he's like, a guy tries to fight him, and he's like, get off me, crack boy! And he throws him, and he hits another drug dealer.
Crack boy.
He called him crack boy. And he goes, Meteor Man is in town, and he blows the house away. Right? So he goes, you see these gang members having a shootout with the cops, and Meteor Man lands in the middle, and they all keep shooting, and they don't affect him. And he's like, weapons down, I want to talk to both sides. And then finally, like, the rap group Cypress Hill?
Yes.
So they, like, go, everybody, guns down, let's listen to him. And the cops put their gun down, and they all have a talk with Meteor Man, and he like causes peace.
So he doesn't even fight them with his powers. He fights them with his mind. And what he told that kid in the first place.
Yep.
To run away.
So the Golden Lords get to their one of their crack houses, and it's all fucked up. And they're like, what the fuck? And then on the news, they talk of Jeff, and they say how they finally found a Meteor Man for an interview. Like, whoop, right? And he goes, what? And he goes and he looks at the TV, and it's John Witherspoon. It's Pops. He's like, yep, that's right. I'm Meteor Man. Look how fast I am. Can't even see me. I could have beat Ali. He's just like saying John Witherspoon kind of shit. Right? And they go, what about them saying that, that you just got released from prison and he's all that? He's like, yeah, well, I did my time. And now I'm a superhero. But ladies, if you want to call me, And Jeff's like, oh my God, and everybody's going to think I'm that guy. So you see the Golden Lord meet with this white guy and all the other gang leaders like of the United States. It's like a big gang
It's
lord
a convention?
Meeting. It's like a convention.
Cool.
And one of the gang leaders, he doesn't have any lines in this movie, but he's in the whole movie. Luther Vandross.
What?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, they close up on him a bunch to let you know, like, hey, we got Luther. He has no lines in it.
He doesn't even sing?
No, doesn't sing.
They didn't even use him to like make one of the songs for like the credits at the
No.
end?
I also read what he said. It's like, yo, it's like Soul not having Jamie Foxx sing the whole time.
Oh, yeah. What was that
Like,
about?
what are you doing?
What are you doing, Disney?
It's about music.
He doesn't even have to sing well. You should be like singing kind of randomly, like along to a song
I
at
don't
some
know if
point.
Jamie can sing bad.
I don't know. Yeah, it's true. I mean, but he didn't have to work hard at it.
The dude's just an angel.
He's an angel.
All facets of everything he does.
Yeah, especially his smile.
Okay, wasn't talking about that, but you know
Okay.
what? All right. So, God damn it, Sam. On the top, they all meet, right? And the guy goes off on the Golden Lord leader about how this happened in your territory and it's fucking up my money. And he goes, gentlemen, I offer $1 million for this man alive, $2 million for him dead. No, I mean, sorry, other way around. $2 million alive,
1 million dead.
1 million dead, right? And he goes to an abandoned lot, right? We see Jeff go to an abandoned lot and he's still got his Meteor Man outfit on. And the music changes to like, like slow jam, like R. Kelly, like, I believe I can fly, right? And you hear on the radio, like all the people talking on the radio, telling how Meteor Man saved them or did this or did that. And he takes all the cars off the abandoned lot, like all the abandoned cars. And then he tows lines through all the dirt and he like plants seeds. And he like puts his like hands on all the dirt and like uses his powers.
Oh.
And then he like uses his powers to like form a cloud like on some storm shit and like make it rain. And then the next morning, it's all on the news, and it's a humongous garden that's going to be able to feed thousands in the poor, like in that neighborhood for free. Like that's what he made it, like a free Meteor Man.
This
garden.
is such a ahead of its time movie because
Right? It's
community
pretty cool.
gardens are like such a thing now.
And imagine if somebody could do that for free, that would feed a whole neighborhood like that.
Oh
whole project.
yeah,
And it's healthy food, organic, healthy food.
and it's happening fast because he has the power of the meteor.
Yep. I would go crazy, bro. We would eat so many vegetables because we love vegetables already. So, oh my god, that option? Are you kidding me? I would go nuts. So at work, we see our boy Jeff. He's grading papers, right? And he's using his powers to grade papers. And as he's doing it, he looks up and he hears a slinky, and all the Golden Lords are surrounding him, which is like, yo, you're a fucking superhero. Be better than that. And they go, how'd you do it, Meteor Man? We know it's you. And then Eddie Griffin walks in. He's like, whoa, whoa. Hey, Jeff, the principal's calling for you. And they're like, no, this is Meteor Man. He's like, no, Meteor Man is like, he just stopped a crack house like 2 minutes ago. Couldn't be him. And they go, oh, maybe we were mistaken. Baby Lords. And then you see the little kids leave. And then he goes, Junior Lords. And then the teenagers leave. And he goes, Lords. And then they all rest of them leave.
What is this game?
Do you not love the Lords?
The Lords, it's not, you know what I'm imagining? You know how they have like child soldiers in Africa?
Yes.
That's what this is to me.
Oh, yeah. The Golden Lords are definitely child soldiers.
Whoa.
Actually, I think
Do they all have
child soldiers.
Uzis and stuff?
They all have guns. And like they all have like fucking little like fighting gloves.
Oh.
So as Jeff cut to, you see Jeff sleeping that night, right? And someone breaks into his place. And his dog's trying to wake him up, but Jeff doesn't wake up. And he goes, the dog keeps barking, someone stole your uniform. Someone stole your uniform. And then Jeff wakes up and he's like, damn it, he realized someone stole it. And he cuts on the radio news and he hears Meteor Man is on the news. And he's like, and it's Eddie Griffin. It's Eddie Griffin's voice. He's like, yeah, that's right, I'm Meteor Man. And I'll be giving pictures, especially to all the lovely ladies who want to meet the Meteor Man. Right? And he goes, God damn it. And so he goes to the mall and you see Eddie has a mask on. Like not the Meteor Man mask, like a different mask.
Yeah.
Right? And
Like a face-like mask? Or?
no, like almost like a do-rag, like a little purple do-rag. And it's like, covering his, but he put it on like that.
Yeah,
He
I see what you're
cut
saying.
eyes out of it, you know? And he's talking to all the ladies and he's taking pictures and he's hitting on women. And you see the Lords all walking up because they hear the Meteor Man's at the mall and they got all guns. And Jeff's like, oh shit, they shoot my friend. He's going to fucking die.
Yeah.
And so Jeff uses his laser vision and he zaps a woman's butt that's in front of the Lords. And she goes, hey! And she turns around and she slaps the leader. And it's the old woman from the hospital. Don't be touching on me. I know what y'all young men's want from me. And then they're like, lady. And she's like trying to beat them all up. And then he uses his powers to make Eddie fly. He like goes like this. And now Eddie's flying through. And Eddie's like, whoa! Oh! And he's like having him fly through the mall. And everybody's looking at him like, oh, look at the Meteor Man. He's flying. Other than the leader of the Golden Lords who's looking at Jeff make him fly.
Don Cheadle?
Yeah. Okay. No, he's not the leader. The leader's a different guy. Don Cheadle's like his number 2.
Oh, okay.
And his name is Goldilocks.
Don Cheadle or the...
Don Cheadle.
okay. His name
name's
is Goldilocks. Well, I mean, that's fitting. They all have gold hair.
I mean, it's pretty awesome. What a cool gang. I'm not mad at them. I
They
like
have
I like the
style.
outfits. I like the outfits.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of the outfits my whole life. So he gets outside and he like takes all of his clothes back off Eddie Griffin and he goes to fly away. And he's like, I'm sorry, Jeff. And he's like, I'm sorry, man. And he feels bad. So his dad, he goes and sees his dad and dad's like, I need you to like come with me somewhere. And he follows him. He's like, Dad, I need to talk to you. And right then his dad surprises him with a Meteor Man party. And everyone there in the neighborhood is thanking him for making the community safe. And they want him to expand, to go to different cities to help.
Wow.
Right?
They're asking a lot of this guy. He
Right?
just wants to be a jazz
Dude, he just wants to play
bassist.
jazz. Like, this is just soul.
He hasn't gotten to play any jazz during this whole movie.
The whole movie. He could definitely get another bass now. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
hey, you guys want to like pay me back? Buy me a new bass.
I feel bad for this guy.
Yeah, me too. So he goes outside and all the Golden Lords are there. And then the rest of the town comes out and they see all of them. And the Golden Lords all pull out their Uzis and just start shooting at the whole town.
Jeez.
And he does some Matrix shit and like stops all the bullets. Like you see him like,
Yeah.
like grab them all, grab some with his teeth, like all of them. And the head Golden Lord goes, you can't save everybody at some point. At some point, somebody's going to get like hurt. And then he leaves. Right? And all the lords leave. And then Jeff looks at his hands and he drops all the bullets, but he's got blood all in his hands.
Ah, so his powers are wearing off.
Yep. So he sees Eddie Griffin at work and he apologizes and he tells Eddie that he's losing his powers. He feels sleepy, he feels weaker, and he can't like stop it. So you see at the
He
same
might have COVID.
I know. The Golden Lords and the rich white guy who owns all the gangsters, they all show up at outside Jeff's apartment. And he's asleep inside. Ellington is trying to wake him up. So he doesn't wake up. So Ellington starts pulling him out of the bed and pulls him off to a corner and then grabs all the laundry, the dog, and covers him in all the laundry. And then all the gangsters bust in. And they can't find him.
Yo, did the dog get hit by a meteor
Yo,
as well?
this is just a regular dog doing this. So they go, you better find him, right? To the Golden Lords, the white guy, and he goes, the Golden Lord goes, I think he's losing his powers. Trust me, I think something's wrong with him. Whoop-de-whoop. I don't know how he knew, but he knew somehow. And he goes, well, he better be losing his powers or you'll lose yours. And the Golden Lord's like, so Jeff wakes up in his bed and he's like, what happened? And Eddie's there and he's like, yo, the Golden Lords came by. He's like, what? And Eddie figures out that, yo, anytime you use your powers, it drains you. Right? The parents are there and they suggest he leaves town like for a couple weeks. And he's like, no, I can't do that. Who's going to protect the neighborhood? So him and Eddie go outside and they start walking through the neighborhood and it's graffiti everywhere. All right? And then they go to the community center and they find out their whole town's in there. And the town is having a meeting on how things are worse now than ever, and it's all Jeff's fault. I know. They fucking Batman Dark Knight Rises him.
What?
And
This is only one movie. You got to give him at least
two
movies of,
before he's a problem.
Yeah.
It's or Captain America Civil War. Either one.
Yeah.
So he goes, if we can get him out, they go, if we can get out, maybe we can make a deal with the Golden Lords and they'll be nice, like they'll leave us alone. And then Jeff speaks up and he's like, hey, I'll leave. And they all turn. He goes, I'm sorry about what happened to the neighborhood, but I'm even sorrier watching this. How can we stop these gangs if we act like we don't see them? We complain to the police, but how can you complain while you just all do nothing? And then he leaves. She's like, hey, Jeff, that was you like 2 seconds ago, bro. Chill the fuck out. So Jeff, he packs up to leave and he's talking to Eddie. Outside, the Golden Lords like use these big semi trucks and they block off his neighborhood so he can't leave. Outside, you hear the Golden Lord leader, Meteor Man, come out. And Eddie's like, don't go down. You don't have your powers. And he's like, I'm going down. And he heads down anyway. And the neighborhood's all scared to look at him. Like James Earl Jones doesn't even want to look out his window to like see him walk down.
Yeah.
You know? So he comes down, his fists are up, and they're like, you got a lot of heart. I'll tell you what, Meteor Man, you do your thing. I'll go to New York and we'll have peace. And he offers his hand. And Jeff goes to shake it, and he headbutts him. Bam! And then he starts beating the shit out of him, and all the lords are laughing, and they're kicking him, and they're beating his ass. Bill Cosby wakes, and he looks, and he hears all this, and he barks to his dogs, and all the dogs get up, and they all start running towards, and he grabs his can with his green glowy rock in it, right? So Jeff's all beat up. His eyes are all fucked up. And he starts throwing punches back, and he hits the Golden Lord once. And everybody's like, oh. And then they go to help. He's like, I don't need help. And he starts beating the shit out of Jeff real bad. Right? And the two little kids from class, remember the one that helped him earlier?
Yeah.
They're watching, and they both feel bad. Because it's their teacher.
Bad. Yeah.
And you see James Earl Jones. He's listening, and this nigga is such a good actor. He's crying again, but like real deal tears. You but like every time you see him and he's crying, you're like, damn. You feel bad.
He
like,
can act.
It makes the movie add so. It's also like, damn, bro, this is supposed to be cheesy. Like you can't like cry like that. Like
you can't be for real.
Yeah, because this is like it makes people feel stuff. And so Eddie Griffin finally's had enough. He runs out to help, and they knock him out. Don Cheadle knocks him out. So Jeff's all fucked up, right? His eyes swollen. The leader walks up on him. He cocks his gun, and he goes to shoot him. And right then, a jazz record hits his hand and knocks the gun out of his hand. And he looks up, and it's James Earl Jones, and he's like,
even though he said he would never give up one of his records. Love the foreshadowing.
It's not bad, right?
Yeah.
So right then, you see he picks the gun back up and he's about to shoot him again, and the little kid from class comes up and kicks the gun out of his hand, and the other kid grabs it and throws it.
Oh, nice.
And he goes, "You want to save him? Well, you're a part. Then you go down with him." And they all pull their guns, and then right then, all their guns start flying in the air, and you hear the hero music, dun, 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 and you see Bill Cosby like pointing all their guns and knocking them out. Like that. And they're like, what the fuck? And then the whole town starts leaning out their windows, throwing stuff down, hitting all the Golden Lords. And then they all run out with like bats and brooms, and they all start fucking
because they're all stuck in the middle of the street because it's all...
And they've all had enough.
Yeah. Okay.
I always love a movie where the neighborhood's had enough, and they're like, we'll deal with it ourselves now.
Yeah. You can't push this around anymore.
I like those kind of movies.
Well, also, the Golden Lords sort of trap themselves because they're trying to trap Jeff, and then...
They didn't realize that the town... You're also not... Because you're like... Oh, you know what it's like? It's like, remember in A Bug's Life? Mm-hmm. Where, you know, the grasshopper, he's like...
Yep.
And he hits him with one little rock, and he's like, did that hurt? And the hopper's like, no. And he hits him with another, he's like, did that hurt? And the other grasshopper's like, no, I didn't feel a thing. And then he knocks them all out and like fucking kills him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what about that? If they all band together, they take us out easily. And it's like, whoa. I love that movie because Hopper's like point of like why we instill fear is important is like really important.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. The man?
Yeah.
The man is just that grasshopper.
Yeah, we gotta fucking, that's why the U.S. Capitol, I've changed my mind. I'm on their side now. It wasn't enough. No, that was crazy. Don't kill people, bro. Don't break shit. That ain't. But, you know, we should band together and all like, I don't know.
We should band together against money and tyranny.
Yeah, but I don't know. People love money too. The problem is we love money too much.
I know
that's
what they've done to us.
They've done this where we feel like it's like blood. It's like, no, I need it.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not. You don't need. I mean, it's useful. So, a woman right then. You see a woman throw something out her window and it goes in slow motion and it accidentally hits Cosby in the hand and it knocks his coffee can on the ground and the meteor comes rolling out. And Jeff looks over at it and he's all beat up and you see the Golden Lord leader look over at it and they both die for it and they touch it at the same time and it explodes and goes in both of them.
Oh, wow.
All right. And then they both come to and you see the Golden Lord first and he's looking at himself and he's all powerful. And then you see Jeff and he's all healed up and he's like all powerful. And the Lords, They try to smash Jeff with a van and he like jumps over and dodges it and then him and the Golden Lord start fighting and the Golden Lord guy grabs him and he throws him through the van and the van's like a van full of books and so he goes through the back and there's books all over the ground now and he goes down to like he reaches down to get up and he touches one of the books and you see the radiation go through and he stops and he turns it around and it's like a Bruce Lee master kung fu fighting book.
No!
And he goes, what? And he gets up and and he like beats the shit out of everybody with kung fu.
That's funny that he needs to make the noise.
Right, to remind everybody that it's Bruce Lee. Like in the book, there's a bunch of
Now, when you perform this, you need to make the correct wah sound.
Like all that shit. And then right when he beats everybody up and then he gets to the Golden Lord leader and then the book wears off. And he's like, and then he lets him go. And then he goes, because he thinks he sees it and he goes and he grabs it again. And he goes, and then it turns it over, and it's like a Tyra Banks or not like it's like whatever name, How to Model book. Like
Naomi Campbell.
Yeah, like how to be a model book. And he's like, and he throws it at the other guy, and the Golden Lord League grabs it, and he goes and it like does the radiation thing, and they look at each other, and then you hear shake that body, and he like 80s music kicks in, shake that body for me, and then they both do a walk off.
Yo, this is the origination of the walk-off?
I think this is where this joke is from.
Yo, Zoolander stole the walk-off from this movie?
There's a walk-off in this movie.
Yo. You just blew
And
my
Robert
mind.
Townsend's voguing.
Of course.
Doing this.
The white man
And the
is
other guy's
always
like-
stealing from the black man.
I mean, because this is clearly written for this joke. Like that.
Oh,
Whole,
of
like, the book, they're
course.
like, oh, we'll get to this joke.
Well, this is long before Zoolander.
No, I'm not talking about Zoom. I'm talking about like
Yeah.
in the early, the foreshadowing of, he gets the knowledge from the book. It's
Oh,
like,
the whole
eventually
point of this is to
we'll
have
like,
a walk-off at the end.
We'll have some kind of goofy book.
Yeah, that's really funny.
And this is very funny.
Yeah.
And so they're doing it, and then like they stop and they look at each other, and then Eddie Griffin's like 30 seconds. About goddamn time. Because they're like into it while they're walking past each other. Also, it's funny because they go from fighting to straight up walk off. So the Golden Lord grabs him and starts beating him up again. And he throws him. And then he picks up a dumpster to throw it at Jeff. And then Ellington barks, Jeff, roof, roof, Jeff, get up. Get up, Jeff, fight back. And he looks at Ellington and he throws the dumpster at Ellington. And it goes, and he smashes him. Right? It's like, dude, this is a vicious movie. That dog, I really like that dog.
I liked Ellington.
And right then he grabs Meteor Man and he throws him all the way up through his apartment window. And then he goes, now the world will do what I say. Shoot me. And Don Cheadle's like, what? And he looks at the lords. He's like, shoot me. And they all start shooting him. And he just laughs. I'll be a god on this planet. And then right then somebody goes, look. And they all look up. And it's Jeff in his Meteor Man suit. Dun, 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 dun. He's like, show's over. And then Golden Lord Leader's like, say who? Says who? Says Meteor Man. And he flies down, and like the Flash, he beats the shit out of him like real fast. Like how he was catching the bullets.
Yeah.
Like, poof, poof, and he's like around him, and he beats him up, and then he ties up all the bad guys. Right? And then he looks at the other teenage lords, and they all run away. And then he looks at the baby lords, and the baby lords go, like, we'll fight you.
Wow.
Because I love the teenage lords take off, but the baby lords are
Like, we got spunk.
come get it, dog.
Yeah.
And then he like goes real fast and he ties them all up so they're all tied up like this. And then he walks over to Ellington, who's hurt really bad, and he uses his X-ray vision and he has 4 broken ribs.
Oh, no.
I know. And the whole town's looking over Ellington, and then Cosby walks over and he uses the rest of his powers to heal Ellington.
Oh.
And it fixes his ribs, right? And everybody smiles. And then right then all the other gangsters show up. The white guy, remember the white guy and like Luther Vandross?
Yeah. The other
I
side.
see us in the park, strolling a summer day when nobody else is around. And I whisper from afar to go where lovers go when nobody else knows. But I don't want to bore you with my troubles. But there's something about your love, doom, 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 that makes me weak and knocks me off my feet. And I don't want to bore you with. Do you not know this song?
No, I don't know this song.
That's the fucking Luther jam. What's your favorite Luther song?
I don't know if I know any of them off the top of my head. I would recognize some of them, but
Dude's got. And then of course, to dance with my father again.
I do
The
know that
saddest
song. Yeah,
of
that's
all
a really
time.
sad song.
The saddest song of all, especially when he's like, I'd hear my mother scream, scream for my father's soul, and say, how am I gonna raise these kids? You left me all alone. It's like,
Yo!
damn, this song is fucked up. So Luther Vandross shows up as a gangster, and the white guy walks up and he goes, so Meteor Man, I finally meet the Meteor Man. I'm gonna enjoy this. And he signals for everybody to shoot. And then right then, remember the Cypress Hill gang?
Yeah.
They all show up. And he goes, oh, you think that's gonna stop me? And then he points up, and then there's like 1 million gangsters all on the roof, and they all have guns pointed.
Oh, wow.
And the guy's like, oh, well, maybe we will get out of here. Maybe we'll take a vacation. Maybe we'll see you later, Meteor Man. And they go to back up, and then all the cops pin them in.
Ooh.
And they all get arrested. Right? And then Meteor Man looks at Cypress Hill, and he's like, thanks. And then he looks up, hero shot, Meteor Man. That's how it ends.
Yo, that's it? That's how it
I
ends?
swear to God, nigga, that's how it wraps.
Yo, this guy never gets to go to his jazz gig.
Never even gets his bass back.
Yo, this is a sad story.
Right? It's kind of fucked up.
You know what I feel like this story really is? It's like a metaphor for artists. Like, you know, there's this point in your life as an artist where you're like, I'm going to either keep trying, keep gigging, keep pushing for my art, or I'm going to do what my parents want me to do and save the town.
and be a superhero, which is a teacher.
Yeah. I mean, in your parents' eyes.
Yeah. So I do get it. I do get it, bro. Oh my God. What do you think of the movie?
I was fun. That was a lot
like
of fun.
it?
I love that.
I love this movie so much. It still helped. When I was watching it, I was like, man, this movie's still good.
Yeah, that's a fun one. I've never heard of this movie
Hour
before.
and a half, not too long. You've never heard of it even.
No,
It's
I've
against
never
the
even
walls.
like skipped past this movie on the TV before. It's like everything you said to me, I've never seen this combination of people in the movie. You know, like I'm like, I have never even encountered this movie at all.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you enjoyed, man.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Fucking Meteor Man. Beaners, I hope you enjoyed. Bean Gang, Bean Mafia. We love you. We'll see you Monday.
Being out.
Bean out, bitches.